Hey everybody, it's Michelle, and today is day 7 of phase 2, round 1. And I did not lose any weight today. I am exactly where I was yesterday. But I'm still dealing with Tom. And actually, when I went to yoga this morning, I did see a huge, well, I shouldn't say huge, but a lovely change in the narrowness under my, like my high waist, and then also around my hips on the sides. I was definitely more narrow, so I'm okay with it. And I think when Tom goes away that things will sort of settle back into losing here and there. So that's no big deal. But I'm a little frazzled. I'm getting ready to interview a couple city council candidates here in our great city. And so I've done all the pre-makeup and the pre-hair, but I have to go get my flat iron out and do the mascara and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to get this in. So last night I did not sleep very well, but I used that time. I was really tossing and turning, but I used that time to really think about what it would look like to be, a thin person who didn't use, what would it look like if I had lost all my weight and was a person who enjoyed being thin and enjoyed being with her friends and socializing without the major part of that enjoyment being food and drink, okay? Because I really like my wine and my cocktails, and I love to, eat and all that. Because when I went, I told you guys on Friday or Saturday morning that I had gone to these 2 happy hours, and I realized that, my enjoyment of those 2 happy hours was really diminished because I was, bummed that I couldn't drink or eat and everybody else could. And it made me realize, I think I had about 40% of the fun that I would have had if I had been able to drink and eat, having 100% of the fun. So that was sort of an epiphany for me, because I was thinking, 60% of the fun that I associate with happy hour and being with my friends has to do with the food and the drink. And so I started thinking about that, as my mind was turning last night, and I was tossing and turning. And I started thinking, what does it look like to be a person who's thin and enjoying herself and fit and nicely dressed, and enjoys the getting together with friends. Let's say 90% for the getting together with friends, as opposed to the 40%. I think I've been looking at it like, I love my friends, don't get me wrong, but I just, associate so much of the fun with the intake, the consumption part of it. And so I started thinking, like, how can I, what would that look like? And I started picturing myself, being more aware and more interested. I'm a really, really good listener, but what if I took my listening skills up? What if I doubled them? What if I was a much better listener? And what if I started asking my friends more intimate questions, more caring friendship questions, What if I just showed up for the heck of it, to help my friends with their babies, or play Scrabble, or, without being associated with wine and bringing food and all that kind of stuff. What if I brought, some sort of beverage, like, make fancy up my green tea, create some slushies or something like that. Not as that being the enjoyment, but just having something really nice right there that I can enjoy drinking, but really the focus is on my friends and enjoying their company. And I also started thinking about, what would it be like to be at a Super Bowl party and not be focused on drinking and eating, and being focused more on the game and on the friends and listening to the conversation and focusing and concentrating more on, who's around and what's really going on in the room, and that connection with people. So anyway, I got kind of a really great visual of, what I want to look like. There's a picture I have in my head. There was this Journey song, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's from the Escape album. And there's a lyric in it where Steve Perry sings, calls there. It's this young couple sort of playing around or rolling around in the grass, and he calls her a golden girl. And I've always wanted to be a golden girl. And to me, a golden girl is like a California girl with long, blondish or light brown hair, and tan and trim and happy and beachy, and and I started thinking, how do I take that sort of 18-year-old version and make it a modern 44-year-old version for me. So I started thinking about what would I wear and how would I look and how would I feel, and what would it be like to have 90% of my socializing based on the connection and knowing my friends on a deeper level and enjoying what's going on around me. Anyway, I know I've repeated myself quite a bit here, but I'm just sort of processing it out for myself. This is the first time I've said it out loud, and I think that a lot of people can't necessarily, I should say, it's not this kind of conversation that people are so great about receiving in a normal, social event. You guys, if you're still with me, maybe it's hitting on some level for you, but we're all sort of in the same boat about reinventing ourselves. And I want to be somebody who's not feeling deprived. I want to be someone who's not even focused on the deprivation. I want to be someone who's focused on, hey, I'm having a good time. You know what? Half a glass of wine was good for me tonight. Or you know what? Tonight I had a glass and a half. But not about, hey, I'm drinking tonight and I'm eating tonight and it's, this is Super Bowl or this is my birthday and I'm going to go all the way out. Another thing I wanted to bring up too was that, I've mentioned before that I'm a food snob. I'm very picky about food. I don't like low quality food. Not to say that I don't have my, I don't have my weaknesses. There are definitely some fast foods and some junk foods that get me fired up. I'm not saying that I don't, but I really try and always eat the highest quality food. I don't buy processed food. If I eat crackers, they're like the natural crackers or they're plain crackers, or I'd rather have someone I'd rather go to a bakery and buy a cookie than go to the store and buy like store-bought cookies. So I was thinking about this whole idea of being really, really picky about food. And I thought, why don't I look at the world a little bit more like, I eat differently than the rest of the world. I don't overeat because it's Super Bowl. I don't overeat because it's my birthday. It doesn't mean you have to bring it up and talk to people about it. It doesn't mean you have to say, hey, I'm not an overeater anymore. It just means you take a quiet, sort of like yoga, balanced step back from yourself, from the room, and you don't have to, you don't have to advertise that you're eating less or you're on a different plan. You just be the plan. And if someone asks you about it, you just calmly say, I kind of reinvented how I eat and how I drink. So I was thinking, I'm going to take the food snobby and add the, hey, I eat different than the rest of the world, or the rest of the country, I should say, because there's other cultures that eat healthy. I eat differently. I really care about what goes into my body. And I'm having a great time at Super Bowl, and if I really want a little nacho, I'm going to have a little nacho. But I'm not going to be the girl who's got a plate of nachos on the couch and, on her third beer and, that kind of thing. So anyway, it's just something I'm working with right now. I'm trying to visualize it ahead of time because I don't want to end this diet again, like I said, and be like, now what? I want to be like, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm going to look like. I know what I'm going to feel like. I know what sort of eating habits it's going to be like. And, and it's a whole lot about, especially since in this stage of my life, which is calming my inner child. I get really excited when I see food and sweets and and stuff, and I get all fired up, and I want to just calm that down and just be like, hey, the food's right there. It's not going anywhere. You know, everything's going to just be mellow, and we're going to make our choices. And I think if I do that on a regular basis, calmly and coolly, I think I'm going to get there. In fact, I know I can get there. Like I said, if I picture things ahead of time, usually they manifest. But I have to really work on the picture and what it looks like. I had this picture of like wearing like leggings, you know how like, I mean, for me, I've never worn leggings other than to go to, yoga or exercise. But wouldn't it be awesome if I could wear leggings, and show my whole ass in leggings and wear boots and, like a long scarf and a tunic, a tunic where it looks good on a skinny person, not like a tunic where it looks like, like you're trying to hide your butt or whatever. Anyway, just some thoughts I was kicking around. And if you're still with me, thanks for listening. And I'm going to try and find that Journey song, Golden Girl, and maybe add it. I'm going to upload the video now, but maybe later I'll try and add the name of the song. Anyway, you guys, listen, thanks for listening, and thanks for letting me process this out loud, because there's probably no other way or any other people that would really understand what I'm trying to do with my thoughts. So if you're still with me, thanks for listening all the way through. And I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with a little bit of a loss. If not, that's okay. We'll keep going. Thanks, guys.